You know what would be good? Here's a merchandise idea. A stuffed Darin and a stuffed Mike.
Yes.
And they have a little voice box thing. And when you squeeze one, it goes, yeah. They hear the other. Whichever one you squeeze. And it counts and does it like 10 times. And like stuff.
Yeah, and that's all it does.
Yeah.
That's all it does.
Yeah.
You have any beats? I want beats!
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, the official podcast of spring. Excuse me. Here are your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hey, everybody, I'm Buck.
I'm Dusty.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 81. We've got a decent show for you tonight.
We do.
Yeah.
I'm going to be talking, yes, I finally went to the Tool concert.
You've been out of your mind about the
I'll
Tool
be
concert.
Revealing whether or not people were nice and sent me $800 to get a vinyl and various other things that happened.
Stay tuned.
At the show.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the new Batman movie, which I thought was kick-ass, and Mike and I have conflicting opinions on something.
We do.
Yep.
And actually, this past week, I remembered that we have a post office box that is on our website. So I went to go check the mail, and we actually have mail.
We got something.
I think it would be cool to I haven't opened it. It's sealed.
Okay.
It's sealed. We got a card.
We're going to read it live on the air.
We have all kinds of sealed. Some of it is to us. Some of it is not.
Okay. And I'm going to go over some classic radio commercials that I found not so much disturbing, but ludicrous, kind of ridiculous. So we hope you're as excited to be listening as we are to be speaking.
And there may be a random story about a duck peppered in this thing. Who
Possible.
knows?
Yeah, always possible.
There's going to be all
Always
kinds
possible.
of other crap.
You know what I was wanting to do?
What's that?
Quacker was talking to me last week. Quacker's not very excited to be part of the show.
Oh.
Have you noticed that Quacker's not really thrilled?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, maybe we should replace Quacker.
Okay.
Possible. So I was going to throw this out there to our loyal listeners. Are you happy with Quacker being our cursing duck?
Yeah.
If not, we have the option of the cat. We have the elephant. And we have
a cow.
Do we have we don't have a cow.
Get you a cow by 3 p.m. tomorrow.
No, we've got the bong.
Yeah.
And we got the one other thing that we do for whenever one of us curses.
Leghorn.
Yeah. Anyway, let us know what you think we should use because we may be replacing Quacker the cursing duck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So a good place to do that is go to our website, irritabledadsyndrome.com. You can email us directly from there. Some do.
Yeah.
You can follow us on Facebook, message us directly on there.
Instagram.
You can follow us on the Instagram. You can listen to us on the tweeter. Wait, you read the tweeter.
That's right.
You listen to us on whatever device you're listening to us on right now.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of ways to interact with us, including the mail.
Yeah.
So do that.
There you go.
What the hell?
How was the Tool concert?
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude. So you guys can't see this, but I've created a Tool shrine. I've created a thing that would cause someone to, they would have pause.
They would say,
when they enter the room.
I think Mike has a problem.
Mike might need Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So the Tool fans are going to understand there's a couple of things that you have to do if you're a Tool fan. You have to get their poster. They have a different
You really
poster.
don't, but okay.
I said Tool fan.
Okay.
They have a different poster by a different artist for every show. They also have a corresponding T-shirt made of that. So you can only get that poster and that T-shirt at that show.
Oh.
So I knew that in 2019 when I got that poster over there. And I'll show pictures of these to people that care.
Yeah.
And I got the T-shirt that's included with it. And I thought, well, that's a nice little thing to have. It wasn't until I went to the concert this past Sunday and I thought, I saw people with that shirt. Like you were in Cincinnati, yeah, man.
Yeah,
and it was kind of cool. It's like it was kind of a cool little thing. But then there also is the poster situation. Now they only have about 500 or 600 of these posters, and then they usually have about 25 or 50, I would say, signed by the band.
Okay.
So
did you get a signed one?
No.
Okay.
Because we still own our house.
Oh, okay.
Here's the deal. I made an agreement with myself when I was in the line.
Okay.
I said, if I get up there and there's a signed one available, that's all I'm going to buy. If there's not one, I'm going to buy other things as well.
Like 8 things.
So I bought other things as well.
Right.
But I did get the poster. So I was in the VIP group. So I bought these tickets last year.
Touch you.
I had gold VIP because I'm like, I'm going all the way. It got canceled. I got bronze.
Right.
So there's a line for the VIP people. And then there's a line for everybody else. And the
And you
line
had
for
to-
everybody else
You
is
had to mill around
Yeah.
with the underlings.
the line for everybody else is
the
spends
muggles.
most of their time looking at the VIP. Or, sorry, they were actually standing in the VIP line for a while until somebody mentioned this VIP.
Yeah.
And then there was mass confusion. There was wailing and gnashing of teeth. And people moved over to the other line.
Right.
There were tons of people with poster tubes because I'm not going to tell you how much I paid for that, but it was more than $5. Okay. Now, when I saw them in Cincinnati, they set up a booth outside and you bought those.
And then you could take them to your car.
and then you could go and enjoy the concert like a normal human being.
Right.
This place made you carry those things around with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So there were tons of people with poster tubes. They even said in the email, we're not going to allow poster tubes into the venue. People didn't care. They
Right.
brought them.
Right.
We're in line. I'm talking to people. I've met a guy that
Where do you
works
get a poster tube? Poster tubes
Amazon.
are us?
I got
Okay.
mine from Amazon.
Okay. Okay.
I met a guy that works just around the corner from me, like literally within sight of where I work.
Okay.
Was next to me in line.
Huh.
And that last concert, he was at the Cincinnati concert.
Yeah.
So I made a buddy. I made a friend.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't find out his name. I have no way to contact him.
That's for you. It's still pretty good.
This is one of the reasons why I'm.
Well, if you've had more
yeah.
than 2 drinks, you make friends easily.
You know the thing.
Did you hug him, Mike?
You know-
Did you give the guy a hug?
Okay, you know Jerry Maguire, where Tom Cruise says, "You complete me."
Yeah.
Bess truly completes me. Without Bess, I have no social abilities. I can't meet people. I wouldn't know you if it weren't for Bess.
Yeah.
You should go talk to that fat bald guy. You're fat and bald. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear he's funny. You're kind of funny sometimes when, other people think you
After
are.
you've had a couple.
You should talk to
Yeah,
each other.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can talk about cake.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what we
That's what we
talked
talk about is cake.
Cake.
So anyway, I'm in that line and there's already anxiety building up because I'm not at the front of the line and I'm a freak. So they let us in. They let in VIPs 30 minutes before everyone else. Everyone immediately goes to the poster area. Now, there's some drama that happened in the poster line because I felt a nudging. They're trying to split people up into 8 lanes. They don't realize that these are Tool fans that paid for their tickets. We're all trying to split up in lines, and there's somebody trying to take advantage of the fact that we're all moving around. So he kind of nudges past me, and he nudges past the guy in front of me. And the guy in front of me, who I thanked later, this guy was awesome.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey, buddy,
You want to move
Hey.
back? Yeah.
how are you in front of me?" And the guy looked at him, and he was like, "You were behind me, and now you're in front of me.
Right.
How'd that happen?"
Huh.
And the guy said, "Well,
Interesting.
what do you want to be in front of me? You want me to come back here?" No. I'm just curious. You were back there. Now you're up here. You were back. And then I jumped in a little bit. I was like, "Yeah, he was behind me." Yeah, you were behind him. And he's behind me.
Yeah.
But now you're in front of both of us.
Yeah.
How'd that happen? "Hey, man, I don't want any trouble." No, I don't want trouble.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Can you explain to me how that happened? And now people are starting to look. It's like, because I'd really like to understand how that happens. You were behind me.
And now you're
now
in front of me.
You're spatially advanced in line
Spatially
beyond me.
advanced.
And the guy said, "Hey, man, there's all kinds of lines." "Oh, yeah, I know. There's 8 lines."
Yeah.
And you were in my line.
Yeah.
I
behind
saw
me.
you.
Yeah.
You were behind me. And this guy, he points to me. This guy saw you.
I love this guy.
It was what made it great was he kept extending us out. We were in that line for about 20 minutes or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it went on for a good portion of that. And the guy was his face was red. His girlfriend came up and she was just sipping something. Somehow she got a drink. There were no drink areas around there. She had a drink all of a sudden.
Probably had it with her.
And he was like, "Look, man, we're all trying to have a good time. I'll move back." He said, No. I'm just, I was just curious about how that works.
I'm just trying to figure this out.
It made it very uncomfortable. Then I got up there and they had plastic.
That reminds me of when we saw U2 and we had the
Oh,
wristbands.
yeah.
Okay, so the
We
wristband.
stood in the sun for like 8 hours.
Yeah, for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
So with the wristband, the people with the low numbers were toward the front, and if you had a higher number, you're at the back.
Yeah, fair way to do it.
Exactly. And you and I were talking to that guy and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she's just talk. Everybody, but wait, hold on a second. You. No. She's move on back. And he did not dare even try screwing with her. She says, you back. No. I've been talking to these guys for 40 minutes. You have not been here. You back.
The
And he's
recess monitor said, you're out, kid.
and the tail went between his legs, and he scurried away.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So that was the merch line drama. But I got my merch. I even got a bag to carry it in, so I wouldn't have to carry that stuff around with me. So we go through the show. The show's amazing. If you haven't had a chance to see Tool, I have some pictures up on my personal thing. I think I sent a picture to the Irritable Dad Center. I think I sent one picture. You can take pictures at the very end of the show, but there's signs everywhere. Don't bring out your phone. I talked to the lady. Where I was sitting, I was fourth row in the middle. Okay. And there was a lady there that was like the security. She'll come into play later with the bass pick.
Okay.
And I'm talking to her because I have a good 2 hours before
foreshadowing.
I have about 2 hours before the useless opening band goes up.
Oh God. Yeah. One of those. Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm talking to her, and she's like, "Who even is? Like, what is the things?" She said, "I saw boxes up there in the merch line." I was like, "Oh, those are the vinyl, the signed vinyl." And I saw people carrying multiples of those.
Multiples.
And she said, How much is that? Why is that in a box? I said, that's signed by the band. It's $750. That's how much it cost at the show. And
that's cheap, because I thought it was $810.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the other place was charging a premium on it.
Oh, that's right. Those people are trying to gouge you.
Right. So when I said they cost $750, she said, and I quote, she said, and she pointed at this guy, and she said, he has two. And I said, yes, he does. That's crazy. The show starts. Part of the way through the show, I already knew what the set list was. I've been looking at what the set list, they've been alternating between two set lists. One of them plays a couple of different songs than the other one, but otherwise they're the same. Yeah. In one set list, they play Hooker with a Penis.
Hooker with a Penis.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I knew the set list well enough to know.
Wasn't that written by Burt Bacharach and Carol Bayer Sager?
I think it was. I think it was Simon and Garfunkel that originally penned it. But Garfunkel couldn't quite hit the notes required.
No, could not
during the penile.
And that's what split them up.
That's right.
Yeah.
So about song 4 or 5, a little ding went in my head. I couldn't help it. It just immediately said, "We've got a Hooker with the Penis show." Bing.
Yep.
I was like, okay. So I'm not making this up, and I swear if I'd had the ability to record this, I wish I would have been able to record it. A guy 2 people down from me. Somebody behind us yelled out, "Play Hooker with a Penis!" You know, the dude 2 people down. You would think everyone up in the first 4 or 5 rows would be massive Tool fans and would know that that's a song.
Yeah.
The guy started laughing and turned around because this was in between songs. He's like, what's Hooker with a Penis? And the guy behind us, I now looked at him. He had a gray beard, probably in his late 50s, early 60s.
Yep.
He's like, "You're about to find out." And as soon as he got done with that, the opening chords of Hooker with a Penis hit, and the guy's eyes went wide, and he looked at me, and I was like, "Hooker." He went to the stage, and they ran through it, and it was glorious.
Why is there always someone at a show who yells out
"Play Hooker with a Penis"?
Yeah. No, because like many years ago, I was at Thompson Bowen Arena in Knoxville. We're seeing Van Halen, okay, and we're like way up top, and this drunk woman, she will not stop yelling, "Play Bad Motor Scooter." Like, okay, 1, he can't hear you. 2, he's never played Bad Motor Scooter with Van Halen.
Yeah.
I'm like, lady, he's not gonna play Bad Motor Scooter. But she yelled it at least a dozen times.
Yeah. So this may surprise you, but there were some inebriated people at this concert.
Really? At a concert?
Yeah. So
what?
Yeah. So something that they do, they have a quieter song called Calling Voices on Fear Inoculum. And they've been doing like an MTV Unplugged thing where they all, even the drummer gets a guitar. He's just holding it. He doesn't do anything with it, but they all come to the front of the stage. So they're literally like maybe 10 or 15 feet away from where I physically am. And they can hear what people are yelling. So all through the show, in between songs, drunk people behind me are yelling, I love you, Adam. I love you so much. Adam comes up to play guitar. He just so happens where I was situated. He's directly in front of me.
Yeah.
And it became awkward for me personally. Yeah. He played the opening chords of Numa. And I swear he was staring at me when he did it. And I was like, I'm a little too close. I like being up there in front.
Right.
It's weird when the dude with the scary white hair looks like he's staring at me with his Chewbacca eyes playing the openings of Numa. Look at a picture of Adam. Look at a picture of Adam.
Okay.
Anyway. But they come forward to play Culling Voices. And it starts out as a very, it means a lot. It's a very soulful type song.
Okay.
That's when the drunk guy to my right, one up, decides to start, what I found out later, elbowing the breasts of the woman behind him. The married woman behind him, standing next to her husband. I'm assuming, maybe, or heavily engaged, whatever.
Yeah, right.
And when she protested her breasts being hit by his elbows, he turned around and articulated, quack, quack, moo, moo, or whatever we're going to use to quack out what he said. This is during their slow. This would be like when U2's playing One or something. That's when you hear this guy losing his mind, using hooker with a penis language. He gets thrown out. And I am internally annoyed because he's ruining this song, but I'm also laughing. You made it through it's the next to last song.
Right.
You made it through an entire Tool concert, and you're getting thrown out for being a jerk on their quiet song.
Yeah.
So
when I saw, go ahead.
No, I was going to say my last thing is, and I showed it to you when we came down here at the end of the show, and I'm willing to listen to people are going to complain. It's been controversial. It was controversial when it happened. I'm just going to let you know what happened. They come out. Danny Carey's throwing drumsticks. I wore my Rush T-shirt because I know that he's a huge Rush fan. I wanted a drumstick thrown at me, and I'd catch it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That didn't happen.
Okay.
It went but Justin Chancellor, the bass player, starts flinging out bass picks. I saw a flutter, and it landed right in the hair of the lady who I told about the album. And I deftly reached in and snatched it out. Of course, she felt that. She looked, and I was like, I got this out of your hair. And what else are you going to say?
And then you went, and then you licked it. Yeah.
And so this girl in front of us said, technically that's hers. And I said, and I stuck it in my pocket. And I've said,
well, she's a security guard. Why would she doesn't want it?
Yeah, she may not. But then I started another conversation with her. So did you like the show? Oh yeah, I never heard them before. It's great. Yeah. Okay, bye. And I got out of there because I'm afraid that they're going to guilt me into getting the base.
You know what? Yeah, that is my pick.
Yeah. So anyway,
when I saw Joe Cocker, also at Thompson Bowen Arena in Knoxville, Tennessee. Joe Cocker, I don't know if you're a fan, but he's doing "You Are So."
I'm a fan of Jim Belushi or John Belushi's impression of him.
Yes, and that was on point. So Joe is doing "You Are So Beautiful," and it is so. I mean, you could hear a pin drop. I mean, everyone is just mesmerized. They're spellbound by him. Yeah. And he gets to the end of the second verse when you hear, "We love you, Joe." Joe, we love you, Joe. Oh, you're a beautiful Joe. And then I don't know if somebody punched him or what, but I'm like, this is one of the greatest moments. And it was just, and Joe is just putting all his heart and his soul and everything he has.
That's what he does. That's what he does.
Yeah, drunk people.
Oh my God. So anyway, I'll wrap up the Tool. That was I got
our show's over with. So.
I made it out with the merch. I saw a great show. I was dry. I decided not to stay there that night, so I didn't drink. I drank like a beer, I think, and had a hot dog. So the upside,
$29.
Yeah. As I remember every aspect of it, it was amazing. Yeah. Oh my Lord! If you have an opportunity, the tour's still going on. If you have an opportunity to see them, the best light show that you'll see. And you even said, "What about Floyd?" Yeah. And I've seen Pink Floyd. I would say this trumps that. And if for nothing else, it's 30 years later. There's new technology. Yeah. So
I've never understood the mentality behind getting so phased that you don't even remember a show.
I don't recommend that.
No, I don't, because it's like, I remember when we saw the Rolling Stones in 1989, and we took it was like a caravan thing where you paid, I don't know, you bought the ticket and the caravan, and they would leave from Johnson City to Raleigh. right? To see the Stones, okay? We spent a lot of money. In 1989, we spent a lot of money to see the Stones.
Yeah.
And so we got our seats, and the dude in front of us has already gotten in a fight because he's got a shiner under his right eye. Looks like an apple. Honest to God, he looks like he has an apple under his eye. He's standing on his seat with his arms out. He's like in a Jesus Christ pose. Okay, and I'm saying this wearing a Soundgarden shirt.
I'm well aware. Yeah.
And he would way back, and then he would lean way forward, and everyone around would go, "Whoa!" You know. And finally, security came and got him, and they took him out.
Yeah.
Before the opening act, he didn't even get to see Living Color. They took him.
Oh, wow.
They sent him home.
Yeah.
he missed the whole show. So. Hey, I hope you enjoyed your show.
I didn't realize how hammered I was the first time I saw them. I was like, I remember most of the show.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened after the show other than me drinking my contacts, but I remember most of it. It wasn't until I just saw them Sunday I was like, I was really wasted that show.
I have never been drunk at a concert.
That was the only time
Not even Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a few beers at Jimmy Buffett.
Well, I take
that back. I take that back.
Yeah.
I went to see Mellencamp, and a buddy of mine, every time he would go, he would come back with 2 beers, and he kept giving me. Yeah. And he must have bought me 5 beers that night. Oh, my God.
When we saw Joshua Tree tour, I had many beers, but I didn't, that was over the course of a long day.
Yeah.
And I had all the beers within 2-hour period.
Yes, and very huggy.
I get huggy at concerts. It was very hard it's hard for me to go to concerts alone because I can't. It's frowned upon.
Anybody.
It's frowned upon to hug people.
Yes,
I hugged a guy at Joshua Tree in London. That did not
go well at all.
Did not go well. I thought we had bonded, and I grabbed his shoulders when "Where the Streets Have No Name" hit, and boy, he didn't like that.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, you want to stop touching me?
Yeah, you want to. Yeah.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Otis Elevators. I'm Dave Lay. Hey, vacation time is coming up, and please don't make the same mistake that I made last year. Before you book your vacation plans, call your hotel and ask if they have Otis Elevators. If they don't, well, just tell them to suck it and go to a hotel that does have Otis Elevators. They're worth the ride every time.
I was very skeptical about the new Batman.
You were.
I was extremely skeptical. And I've said it before. I don't know why they keep making more Batman movies. They just a half hour ago, Ben Affleck was Batman.
But you don't have a problem with Spider-Man movies.
They haven't beaten it to death yet.
Okay.
And actually, I did. Because I was very reluctant about going to Spider-Man. I'm like, why do they keep rebooting Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do they keep doing it?
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I've forever, and I stand by this statement. I wish that people would put their energy and their strengths and their creativity into original products.
Yeah.
Okay. Original projects instead of constantly rebooting things. That being said, you, and your exact quote was, took Andrew to see Batman, and it was dope. And I'm like, well, okay.
Andrew said it was in his top 5 superhero movies. He says it about every superhero movie we see.
Right. So I took the family to see it, and oh my God, we absolutely loved it.
Did you?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I had put on my Facebook page how skeptical I was, and I could not believe that they picked Robert Pattinson to be Batman. I'm not against Robert Pattinson. I mean, he was good in the Harry Potter movies.
Well, he blew me away in Tenet. He was in Tenet. Do you remember that? Did you see Tenet?
I didn't understand a thing about Tenet.
I didn't either.
We didn't make it all the way through it.
I don't know.
We finally just gave up and said, Christopher Nolan, and not Kevin Nolan.
Yeah.
So anyway, we absolutely loved the Batman.
The Batman.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Robert Pattinson killed it. I cannot believe that was Colin Farrell playing the Penguin.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
So
no idea. I watched the credits. I'm like, that was Colin Farrell. That was insane. Okay,
they're doing a miniseries, The Penguin, on HBO with him.
Yeah. My only problem with the movie was Catwoman It's like they ran out of time and they took an old toboggan and cut the eyes out and said, here's your hat.
I kept thinking, I was like, that's the, in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man when he's walking around in a red hoodie and some shorts or whatever, you're like, he's going to get the Spider-Man suit. Yes. When I saw her with her, I love that you called it a toboggan, because I used to call it that until everyone made fun of me in college.
And what do they call it now?
It's a knit hat.
A knit hat, yeah. Okay.
But I'm going to call it a toboggan because you did.
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh, that's cute. That's her origin story.
Right. And she's wearing
face thing, and she's going to have like a leather or
she's
a
essentially
latex
like Mushmouth
in
the Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. Cut the eyes out of the head, Yeah. So that was her. But anyway, I posted on my Facebook page that next to Michael Keaton, Robert Pattinson was my favorite Batman. And then you said something that pissed me off, flew right up my nose. You said that Michael Keaton was an extremely overrated Batman.
What the hell did you just say? I'm Batman.
And I stand by it. I think he's very overrated. I like Michael Keaton as Batman. I think he's exceptionally overrated. And here, there's a lot of...
I think I can explain why you think that.
Let me hear you. No, I don't think you can.
I think I can.
Hear me out. Hear me out on this. You are allowed to make that determination. Okay. And I respect your view. So if you tell me that Michael Keaton is the best Batman, I respect your opinion and I will listen to you.
Right.
Because you're old enough to remember Adam West, Michael Keaton. I don't count Clooney and Val Kilmer.
Well,
I don't
people
count
do.
That.
People do.
Well, people can.
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett. Okay.
Lego Batman.
Well,
God, the Lego Batman drove me. I loved him in the Lego movie, but Lego Batman drove just like we were done.
The point is that there's really only a few Batman. Adam West is cute, and
right.
That's fine.
But it started with Michael Keaton.
It started with Michael Keaton.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
So you got Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, and now you got Robert Pattinson. I don't count Affleck. I liked Affleck as Bruce Wayne when he was Batman.
Yeah.
I was rolling. I was afraid I was going to have a stroke. My eyes were rolling so far back. But there's a scene. There's a scene. I think it's in Batman v Superman, where
that movie was horrible.
He's Bruce Wayne. Yeah, but I think the best part of the movie is when he's running up and protecting the girl from Wayne Enterprises building falling, and he's as Bruce Wayne. I was like, man, he's going to be awesome. And then the rest of the movie just proved me wrong. So I don't count him. So in my opinion, it's Keaton, like I said, Christian Bale, and now Robert Pattinson. Now, let me tell you what
1, 2, and 3?
No.
Or Robert?
I think Christian Bale's the best.
Okay.
I think Christian Bale's the best. I respect people of your age and my age saying Keaton. I won't fight with you.
Okay.
Now, if you're a millennial and you're saying that to me, we're going to throw hands.
Right.
Because you guys weren't in the theater. You didn't see it. You are listening to what someone told you.
Right.
You probably, when you saw Batman for the first time with Michael Keaton, it was probably with a buddy who was stoned and saying, this is the best Batman, man. This is the best one.
Wayne and Garth. I saw Batman 27 times.
Yeah. So I know you, Darin Cox, went into the theater fresh.
Yeah.
Seeing Batman.
Yes.
With Jack Nicholson and everything. And you came to that opinion, honestly. I respect it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You're wrong, but I respect it. I think Christian Bale nails Bruce Wayne and nails Batman both at the same time. I think Michael Keaton I don't see him as Bruce Wayne. I see him as Michael Keaton playing a rich guy in that movie. I don't see him as Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
When he's Batman, I kind of like it, but I still like Christian Bale better.
See, I think your opinion has probably tarnished over the years because you've seen Michael Keaton play so many other things. I doubt that was your opinion when you first saw it.
When I first saw it, the only one I had him to compare with was Adam West. He was the best.
Yeah.
After seeing Christian Bale, I'm like, okay. Yeah. And I did watch the Michael Keaton Batman within the past year. I got the kids together and I'm like, let's watch this. And we got like 10, 15 minutes into it. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
This is okay. So Christian Bale, excellent actor, and he was very good. Okay. And he was very good in that because of Christopher Nolan, not Kevin Nolan, Christopher Nolan. Those 3 movies.
Kevin Nolan didn't have.
Kevin Nolan can go screw himself.
Yeah.
So those 3 movies were amazing because of Christopher Nolan's direction and his story and everything, more so than Christian Bale's acting. Okay.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
My problem with Christian Bale was how he talked like this the whole time. It's
Okay.
It got old with me.
I get it.
Even though I admire the hell out of
Yeah.
Christian Bale. I think he's a fantastic actor. He was great as Batman and he was great as Bruce Wayne.
So-
I think I'm talking. I think that the original Batman movie was a Tim Burton movie. Okay.
Yeah, I
and Tim
agree with
Burton
that.
did Beetlejuice and he did Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Pee-wee's Bicycle or whatever.
And the Terminator. No,
No, he did not do the Terminator, but I would love to see Tim Burton's take on the Terminator starring Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
I think that Tim Burton's wackiness is probably what has tarnished that movie
I would say, yeah. I agree with
over
you.
time. And I feel
I don't
like a
wanna
lot
say-
of people, I think that kind of bleeds into their perception of Batman.
I
My
agree.
biggest problem with the original Batman was it's Batman. Batman. He should have the lead role. Okay. He should
Yeah.
have top billing.
Yeah.
Over Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
And that still pisses me off that Jack Nicholson had top billing.
Yeah.
Nicholson, Keaton, Batman.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
If the movie was called Joker, then okay.
We'll see. Okay.
And then they did the same thing with Schwarzenegger. He got top billing over Clooney.
I thought you were going to say DeVito.
No, DeVito would have made a great Penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about Pattinson as Batman. I think Pattinson,
Wasn't DeVito a Penguin?
he was.
Yeah. So of course he would make a great
He
Penguin.
did. He did make a great Penguin.
What the hell am I talking about? He would have been great.
So I think Pattinson, when he was Batman, was emulating the Christian Bale Batman, as Batman, with the addition of looking like a hulking brute. Now, in the comics, Batman is like 6'5". He's just massively muscled. It took me out of the movie a little bit when he's Bruce Wayne, and there's one scene where he's in like
He's got the bangs hanging.
I'm okay with the bangs and the mascara. I had a
And
problem.
the
I had a problem
shadow.
with the black T-shirt and the spindly arm. It looked like he had and there's a scene. He's wearing a black T-shirt. It looks like he has no muscles. Now I understand that later in the movie they have the official. I call it the Matthew McConaughey shot, where he's, for whatever reason, he has no shirt on and he's
Right.
doing things.
Right.
It's basically, we spent $500,000 with this guy in the gym. We're going to get our money's worth. And you see, yes, he has muscles, but then it shows him as Batman. Is he wearing platform shoes? Is he wearing shoulder he looks like a linebacker, and he is the most brutal Batman fights, and I love that about this one. So
Yes.
Bale was vicious. But he had a little bit of finesse in there. It showed, in the Christopher Nolan ones, he was trained by ninjas or whatever.
Right.
In this one, it was just like he says, who are you? I'm vengeance.
Yeah.
He's beating that dude.
Yes.
It shows it
within
in the
an inch
trailer.
of his life.
I mean, it is hardcore. I'm going to destroy you.
The chase scene where Penguin thinks he's past him.
Oh,
and
yeah,
spoiler
yeah,
alert.
yeah.
And then he through
Yes.
the fire.
Yes.
I grabbed Cameron on the leg and said, "Yes."
Yeah. And he walks up and it's upside down, and he looks down.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. I know.
that's great. I will say, even though Bale is my favorite, I think
By the way, if you haven't seen the Batman, spoiler alert.
yes, I think that's in the trailer. That's in the trailer.
Okay,
the bursting through the thing.
Yeah.
He does the voice change. So they say in the Christopher Nolan ones, he's going over the top to not look like Bruce Wayne or not sound like Bruce Wayne.
Right.
Whatever. Pattinson does it more naturally. He's also doing I think I'm going to go over there and, get a cheese bagel.
Get some chocolate milk. Yeah.
But he does it. It's more natural. It's not as put on as Christian Bale.
Right. And shouldn't there be a law that says that you can't cross over if you're in the Marvel universe, that you shouldn't be allowed to cross over into the DC universe?
Yeah,
because Jeffrey Wright did that. Jeffrey Wright is the voice of the Watcher in What If, the animated series on Disney Plus, and of course Gollum, who is in Black Panther, and now he's a great Alfred.
Yeah,
but I'm like, I don't know. It kind of bothers me that they keep giving all these great parts to the same actors when there's all these people struggling. Like, I would have been a great Alfred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't take Charlie. I got to talk about some drama.
Yeah.
Here's not a good parenting moment for me. I showed the whole family the trailer, got everyone pumped for Batman. And then I started thinking, I thought it was going to be R. I really did.
Right.
I even told Charlie, you're probably not going to be able to see it. It's probably going to be R. It looks really brutal. And then it came out as PG-13. I was like, oh, how am I going to handle it? So we had a birthday party.
Let's just say, what stopped you? You've taken him to R movies before.
So not Charlie.
Okay.
Walk with me through this.
I mean, not at home, though? Didn't you let him watch something at home?
No, just
okay.
Andrew. Yeah.
Okay, just Andrew.
Yeah.
You let Andrew watch RoboCop.
No.
Okay.
So walk with me. See, tell me where you think my logic breaks down. Okay. Bess tells me that Charlie has a birthday party. I'm like, I wanted to take Andrew to Batman. Would it make sense for me to take him to Batman during the birthday party?
Yeah.
Okay. The problem is that I'm taking a kid to see Batman. He's probably going to be talking about Batman when we get home. Also, the birthday party is 1 hour. The Batman is 4 hours and 53 minutes. It's like Return to the... I was expecting Batman at one point
Also,
to
it's
turn
about
in,
45 minutes worth of trailers.
It is, yeah. Well, we came late.
It's like, come on.
I was expecting Batman at one point to turn to the camera and say, "For Frodo," and rushed into the thing. No, we actually missed the first 5 minutes of the movie because me and Andrew, we didn't leave the house until like 5 minutes before it started. Because I'm like, we're not sitting... What movie was it we saw? What was the last big movie? Dune. It was 30 minutes of trailers.
Yeah.
It was insane. Like, Charlie wanted to leave before the movie even started.
Yeah.
It never dawned on me that I would have to explain to Charlie that we didn't take him to go see Batman. So Bess just told him. And now and then I get the text when we're coming home that he's in tears.
Right.
So I had to apologize to Charlie.
Charlie hates you, Sam.
I had to explain to him, look, buddy, it was really brutal. It was really brutal.
Yeah.
I don't think you should see it. When it comes out, when we can see it at home, and I know where the really bad parts are, I can fast forward through those and we'll watch the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, we'll do that, Daddy.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, mark that out. So anybody out there that's not a parent yet, or you're thinking about doing something like this, don't. Just tell your kid before you go, I ain't taking you, because I don't want you to grow up to be like
a serial killer.
Or a serial killer or whatever.
This portion of our show is brought to you by bananas. Delicious bananas. I'm Dave Lay. Have you ever noticed that bananas never curve the other direction? Anyway, next time you go back to your local grocery store, get some Whoppers all-beef foot-long hot dogs and pick up a bunch of bananas. You'll be glad you did. Back to you, Skunk and Gator.
What did we get in the mail?
Dude. All right. I'm going to go through this.
I'm so excited because when we first started this podcast 81 episodes ago, you opened up a post office box.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Our address, if you want to send something to us for the show.
Now, listen, if you have what's called paper, you can use a pencil or an ink pen. You can even type something if you have oh my God, if anybody out there has a typewriter, I would love for you to type a letter.
Or etch a clay tablet and send it.
Dip your quill into some...
You'll send it to Irritable Dad Syndrome, P.O. Box 1472, Westchester, Ohio 45071.
Okay.
So I opened this thing up when we started the podcast, and I checked it a few days ago, and we had some things, and I think they're pissed because there were multiple Uline catalogs crammed in there with this mail. So the first thing I get is from the Regional Income Tax Agency to Cloud9 Vapor Lounge.
Oh, that's
clearly not
wrong.
To us.
Okay. That's not it. Okay.
I got something for someone named Greta. It says important open immediately. I'm not opening that because I'm not Greta.
Right.
We got something for batteries.
It's not just great. It's Greta.
Greta. We got something for batteries plus or current business.
Is it bulbs and batteries? Okay.
Domain registry for airborne drone. Okay. And Lisa Ferguson and Chris Hughes.
Oh, boy.
And this was sent on December 4th.
What year?
2021. What was this, like 4 months ago? So I'm going to open this. They're two of our biggest fans.
They are, yes. Okay. Chris is banned from the show.
Oh, look, it's a Christmas card. It says Merry Christmas.
Okay.
And it shows Lisa,
kissing.
she's kissing an aardvark. See that?
Let me
show it to the viewers at home.
That's Chris. That's not
That's
an aardvark.
Chris?
That's Chris. Yeah. That's Chris.
Oh, yeah, I see the ears. Okay.
You know, in high school, he was nicknamed the Aardvark.
Well, was he really?
For that very reason.
Okay.
Well, that's the story I'm going to tell now.
So I'm gonna read this.
Okay.
Dear Mike and Darin, we love your show more than Little Debbie Christmas trees.
Oh my God, that's a lot.
Love to you and your family throughout the holiday season. Also, give Figgy and Booba a kiss from us. You can kiss your rabbit.
Well, I'm not going near your dog. Your dog will tear my face off.
Yep. And of course, pass on our warm holiday wishes to Dave Lay as well. Love, Lisa. And then Chris signed Chris off to the side. Look, he was passed out.
His handwriting, it's like a 5-year-old.
She was.
I could draw my name and I can make it.
I'm going to show this to the. She was in the process of murdering him and demanded
I like
that
how she puts all her heart into it. A heartfelt, very nice letter. He's like, Chris!
Yeah, he might as well have written, F you. So I want to thank Lisa.
He couldn't have even said ditto or...
Chris, we're going to need some proof of life, man. We need you to send us a comment, something. We need to make sure you're alive.
Yeah.
But I think that was very, very nice.
Very nice. Thank you guys for doing that. And, and I'm very sincere when I say this. Chris and Lisa are both patrons of our show.
Oh, yeah.
They like our podcasts so much that they financially contribute.
Yeah.
And they help us keep this thing going.
Afloat. Yeah.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for that. And if you would like to become a patron, you can do so by going to irritabledadsyndrome.com. Go to Patreon, and then you can click on that. There's several different plans that you can sign up for. All kinds of cool free merchandise that you get. There's bonus content. So, do that. Be like Chris. In this particular instance.
Yes.
Chris!
Hey kids, it's now time for Dave's Comedy Corner. When I was a single guy, I kept my remote control on the coffee table. And now that I'm married, I keep my remote in a basket. On the coffee table.
Ah, waka waka waka.
This has been Dave's Comedy Corner.
So you want to talk about radio commercials?
Yeah. I was driving in the car.
Yeah.
And a commercial comes on and it says that the only thing worse than being stuck in traffic is being stuck in traffic with allergies. And I'm thinking, that's not true. Because there are plenty of things worse than being stuck in traffic with allergies.
Yeah.
Like you could have a sick kid in the back seat.
Yeah.
You could be sick. You could need to pull over and throw up, or
Yeah.
you could have to seriously go to you go to White Castle, okay?
Yeah.
Eat a case of sliders and not make it home in time. You really need to get out of the car.
That's
before
worse.
those things. That is worse.
Yeah.
Okay, you could have a gunshot wound to the side. Okay, and I know you're sitting there. You got one hand on the wound, one hand on the wheel, and you're driving, hoping that you can get to the emergency room before you bleed out. And I know you're not thinking, well, at least I'm not stuck in traffic with allergies.
I know. You could be stuck in traffic and somebody starts playing a Steven Seagal movie on their iPad.
that is
Can
worse.
happen.
You could be in a car with Chris. So that's one.
Yeah.
And the other one that really stuck out was the radio commercial says, do you crave fresh, delicious produce, but it's not in your budget? I'm like, how poor are you if you can't afford fresh, delicious produce? You're walking through Kroger and you got your kid, Daddy, can I have some bananas? No, we can't afford it, Timmy.
Yeah.
It's like you walk past the cherries and then you go to the frozen food section and then you get the frozen cherries.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you can't afford a watermelon? Are you serious? I mean, come on. They're not that expensive.
Can I tell you something about watermelon and
sure
pineapple?
can. Yeah.
I'm excited that it's starting to get warmer because I'm looking for the day.
Uh-huh.
Something that we love to do is grill out, and we need a new grill. So we need to do something about that. But we also like to cut up the watermelon.
Why don't you
and
ask
the
our
pineapple.
fans if they'll contribute and buy you a new grill?
See, I can say to Bess we should get a new grill, and it's like, I can't say to Bess I need to get a signed fear inoculum for $750 or $810.
Right.
I get met with a stare.
Right.
So I need my fans to help me through that type of situation, but they didn't. That's okay. I'm not bitter.
No, not at all.
No.
One of our other big fans of the show is Stump Woodley. I know his real name. I went to college with this guy. Okay?
Stump Woodley is with us live.
He is with us live. Hey,
every
Stump.
recording.
He's almost every time.
Yeah.
So Stump lives in Tennessee, and he and we used to buddy around all the time back in college. So I hadn't talked to him in a very long time. It'd been way too long. And I went to Tennessee over the weekend to see my mom. My mom sold her house. She bought a new house up here. Pretty soon she's going to live a couple miles down the street from me.
Okay.
So I'm driving down there, and I thought, I'm going to give Stump a call because I haven't talked to him.
Yeah.
Now, when you call Stump, you need to set aside a long period of time.
Okay.
Because especially if you're a guy like me,
Yeah.
because when Stump and I get on the phone, we can talk for a very long time. And I never get tired of talking to the guy on the phone.
Yep.
He's funny. He's got great stories. We talked about all kinds of things. So I'm driving down, and I'm in the middle of a very good conversation with him. And he's talking about a lot of things that went on with his dad and trying to settle some things. His dad passed away a while back. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Stump.
So we're talking about this. The phone rings in, and it's my wife. And I thought, well, I'll call her back.
Yeah.
Okay. Then she rings in again. And I thought, okay, I've been in the car for 4 hours. She's calling to check. She probably thinks I've swerved off the road or I'm dead or something. I should. And so I'm like, hey, listen, hang on 1 second.
Yeah.
So I beep over. I'm
The
like,
house
hey.
is on fire.
Exactly.
Or
Exactly. So I beep over and I say, hey, how's it going? She says, good. And I said, okay, great. What's going on? Oh, we're just having dinner. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I've got Stump on the other line. She goes, well, Figgy ate a blueberry. I'm like, okay.
Is there?
And I'm like,
What's the proper protocol for
right.
response to that?
And so I said,
Because you don't want to seem insensitive.
right, right. I don't want to act like I don't care about the rabbit.
Yeah.
But, the house was not on fire.
Right.
They had eaten dinner. Nothing else was going on. She clearly was just calling to see how I was doing. She could tell that I'm fine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
she's
like,
searching for something to say.
Exactly. And it's like, yeah, well, we fed Figgy a blueberry. I'm like,
okay.
Great.
Just one blueberry.
Yeah. I'm like, and he liked it? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, well, listen, I've got Stump on the line. And she's like, oh. Like,
it's more important than Figgy eating blueberries.
Well, I'm like, well, you haven't said anything outside of the rabbit ate a blueberry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is there something else? I mean, I didn't want to seem like a dick. But like, is there something else that you need that's on your mind? That's ailing you? She's no. I'm like, okay, well, I love you, and I'll call you when I get to Mom's house.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, urgent. Reminds me, speaking of Mom, a couple of years ago, I got, she called, okay, and I was working and I couldn't answer the phone. She called a second time.
Okay.
I still couldn't answer the phone because I was in the middle of a shoot. We had the cameras and the lights and everything. She called a third time. None of these times she left a message. Okay?
So yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, she
fell down the. She's at the bottom of a well.
Is she at the doctor? Did she? Did my grandmother die again? Couldn't possibly, because she's been dead now for 20 years now.
It would be newsworthy of a call if she died a second time.
It'd be worthy of 3 calls. Okay.
Yes.
So I finally got to a point where I could call her back. Hey, Mom, what's going on? Oh, I was just letting you know that Tide is on sale at Kmart.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Tide. All right. Thanks, Mom. Wow. I've got a very quick Kroger story of the week.
Oh.
It's time now for the Kroger story of the week.
Thank you, Dave. Went into Kroger, and I'm walking around. I only needed a couple of things.
Were you in search of adventure?
I'm still in search of adventure.
Okay.
I'm walking through the frozen food section, and I notice that Tyson has, they're not just chicken nuggets, they're Tyson nuggets of love.
Okay.
And I am desperately trying to get in touch with the Tyson people to see if they will advertise on our podcast.
So,
because I think Nuggets of Love is the perfect product to be a commercial on our podcast.
So I have a stepsister, and she's married to the man now, but at the time he was her boyfriend, and she called him her nugget. And she had a song that she sang called "Nugget of My Love." And she would sing.
No way.
Yeah.
You are the nugget of my love.
No, it wasn't like, no. This is back in the 90s, so it was more of a grungy thing.
Nugget of love. Nugget of love. No.
I can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was the first, when I saw Nugget of Love, I thought, I need to tell that on the podcast. And I've never had the strength to do it. Because it doesn't really go anywhere. It's just like, hey, I have a thing that mentions that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it.
And
That's
then,
nothing there.
and then you play the outro, and there you go.
Waka, waka, waka.
Hey.
Oh, shite.
We were at church a couple of weeks ago, and this is another very quick story.
Okay.
A friend of Libby's comes up, and she starts talking to us. And Libby says, I'll be right back. I've got to go check
Powder
this thing.
my nose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she goes, and then I'm talking to this woman. Again, she's a friend of Libby's. I know her. I don't know her name. I just know her because Libby says hi to her when we were at church.
So you're left alone with this person.
Yes. Yes. And she asks me if I was excited about
the Batman.
No, the Mandalorian. I was like, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I am.
All right.
I am.
Was this recently happened?
This is a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
She kind of threw me off guard.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, I am.
Yeah. It's
because-
over.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know when season 3 is coming on.
Yeah.
And I said, but Mandalorian was the thing that saved the Boba Fett series. And she says, we loved Bobo Fett. Bobo Fett was great.
Bobo Fett.
And I just wanted to go, it's Boba Fett. It's not Bobo Fett. He's not a dog.
Yeah, don't.
Bobo. Come here,
You're
Bobo.
making me think of Bruce Willis's album, Honkin' with Bobo.
Why did you have to bring that up?
Why is that in my head?
Why?
I know that stuff. I've failed exams that were critical to my career, but I know that Bruce Willis had an album called Honkin' with Bobo.
I can't remember to pay the cable bill on time, yet I remember honking with Bobo.
You know, it's cute.
But yeah, she wouldn't stop saying Bobo Fett.
You know what? Let's talk about nerd culture a little bit here. It's kind of annoying to me. It's an affront to me as a nerd, as a lifelong nerd, to suddenly have nerd culture. I mean, it's nice that it comes into the mainstream like that. But then when you see with people, no self-respecting Star Wars fan who sat in a theater and watched Luke split that tauntaun open,
right, would
ever come back 40 years later, 20, 30 years later and say, Bobo Fett.
Yeah.
They'd be shot dead in the street. But Cindy can...
You know, her name might be Cindy.
Cindy can be knitting or doing her Wordle while the Mandalorian's on in the background. She says, oh, that's Bobo Fett. No, it's not.
Boba!
See,
come on.
I have two pieces of me. So there's one that I'll start a bar fight over something like that. And then there's another piece of me when someone says, oh, it's Baby Yoda, and somebody else says, it's Grogu. Yeah. It's not Baby Yoda. I'm like, shut the hell up. It's Baby freaking Yoda.
It's Baby Yoda.
That's what it is.
Right.
It's not Grogu.
Right.
I don't care that that's what it says it is. It's it's Baby Yoda.
I don't correct people when they still call him Kramer, because we all know his first name is Cosmo now.
Yeah. It's just... So those two beings live simultaneously in me. It's like if you're an independent and you walk into a room full of Republicans, you'll be the Democrat. And if you walk into a room full of Democrats, you'll be the Republican. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like that with nerds.
Exactly.
I'll walk in, if I walk into like a Warhammer convention or a whatever, I'll be the guy saying, a bunch of nerds.
Yeah.
My God, what are you doing with your greasy self? And then if I go into a Super Bowl party and somebody says, let's play Dungeons and Dragons, I'll be like, that's awesome. I'm at war with myself. And I'm comfortable there.
Yeah.
What happened?
Hey, what happened? Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
And this has been going on for centuries.
Since the dawn of time.
Probably since the Greeks built the Pantheon or whatever. Why, when you have a party, why do people stand in the kitchen when there's couches and like there's other parts of the house?
Yeah.
Every party I've been to, and I've been to some parties. I don't mean to brag, but I've been to a couple parties.
I've been to a shindig or two in my day.
I'll say. Yeah. Yeah. But why do they stand in the kitchen?
I have a very logical answer to this.
Okay.
I've thought about this for the past 10 seconds.
Okay.
So the main reason they stand in the kitchen, wherever you are in a party, the surroundings kind of dictate where the conversation's going to go and what's going to happen. All right?
Right.
But in the kitchen, you have an opportunity. If you're talking to an idiot or somebody you want to talk to, you could say, I'm going to go over here and get some cheese. Or I'm going to go get a cracker and then just kind of wander away. Or you can be eating and you could be enjoying the food and listening to whatever this blabbermouth is saying in front of you, and it doesn't matter. If you want to get something for someone, if you want to show that, if you want to be nice, you can say, oh, can I get you a piece of pumpkin pie?
That's a happening party.
Sure, you can give me some pumpkin pie. Oh, well, you reach right over and get it.
And can I get some more chocolate milk?
If you go to the living room or the dining room and there's no food in there, now you don't have anything to do but talk, unless you get control of the sound system. But that's happens very rarely,
right?
And that's like God level of the party. You don't always go there. If you end up and you're talking to somebody and you're in a random bedroom, no. And if you're in a bathroom, something's definitely happened that should not have happened or should not be currently happening. So out of all of those, the real safe place to be is the kitchen. There's utility in the kitchen.
Well, yes. And I'm going to somewhat agree with you. But if you're in another part of the house, say you're in the downstairs, like you're in the movie room, and you're having a conversation with somebody and they're really, it's like they're talking about cribbage. It's like, okay, I'm done. Yeah. I'm going to go upstairs and get something to drink. Then, because if you're in the kitchen, then you don't have an escape plan.
Yeah, okay.
Unless you say, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Okay.
Yeah, and then you could end up in what we consider already to be the worst possible situation.
What do you do when you're at a party and someone is yammering your ears off? Do you forget something that was in the car? Or do you and your wife have a system?
It depends on how inebriated I am.
Yeah.
If I am just getting to the party, I kind of do the thing that you do when you don't really hear what the person's saying. It's like, and I go, just leave, and I go talk to somebody else, or I leave the room.
Right.
If I'm hammered, I will try to out-annoy that person.
I like.
I go a number of different steps. First, I start with one-upmanship. I don't care what they're talking about. It's like that. I caught the biggest fish. Really?
Yeah.
I caught the Kraken.
Yeah.
And
whatever
I had
it is. Sex with it. Just make it uncomfortable.
If they're talking about disgusting thing, I'll be like the Billy Crystal, the Saturday Night Live, like, oh yeah, you hate that when you put a nail in your eye there, and
you roll these thumbtacks on the ground back and forth. I hate when that happens.
Smarts when that happens.
Oh yeah, that's a real stinger there.
I try to out jerk whoever it is, not for the benefit of whoever I happen to be with. If I'm with Bess, she sometimes enjoys that show. Sometimes it embarrasses her and she'll walk away. If I'm with a jackass like you, you'd be giggling and laughing yourself all along while I'm sitting there going, yeah, I've a ferret. I've 3 ferrets.
But that was the style at the time. We all did that back in the 80s. It was like, I don't
Let me ask you this. Have you ever called the ferret the next day?
There have been 2 times where I've been at a party and I've been in the bathroom and I've done my deal, washing my hands. The door comes open and a girl comes in. And I'll wait for you to be done.
Yeah.
The girl proceeded to walk right past me. Oh, hey, Darin. Drops her pants. And uses the bathroom. And there wasn't even a don't look. It was just like, whoo.
It's an uncomfortable level of comfort there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's happened twice.
Yeah. Wow.
Whenever my wife is a nurse. Okay. I work in television. Our crowds don't mix very well. Doctors and nurses or whatever don't really.
Not since ER.
Doctors and nurses seem to really be kind of. There's like a fascination with
science.
Me and people who work in television. Like when my TV buddies are there, my TV buddies don't really get fascinated with the nurses so much. So what are the bedpans like? No, they don't. None of that. No. Okay. So the rule is when I go to a party with my wife, it's one of her work people, whatever. The first thing I ask is, am I allowed to speak at this party? And Libby always says, no.
Yeah.
Not unless I say so.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were at a party one time and this woman was there and she was giving her husband down the road because she sent out a bunch of invitations. She wrote up all these invitations, put them in the envelopes, and it was his job to stamp them and take them to the post office. Okay. So what did he do? He put the stamp. She says, where do you put a stamp? And one of her female friends says, up in the upper right corner. Yeah, that's where you put the stamp. Where did he put it? In the middle of the envelope. In the middle.
So
and you would have thought that he had ferret, and she was just like going to town about how awful he was. And I just stood up and I said, did the invitations get where they were going? And she says, yeah. I'm like, well, what's the problem? And he's like, yeah. And then all the guys kind of like, yeah, well, it is a problem. Yeah. So then it was like a men versus women thing. And then Libby looked at me like, honey, I think it's time to go.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Well, guys, this has been episode 81. We want to thank you once again for joining us, and we appreciate you listening, and we hope you go to irritabledadsyndrome.com and listen to previous episodes, and we hope that you come back again next week. And this has been Irritable Dad Syndrome.
If you have a question for Mike and Darin, or maybe you have a romantic letter for me, send it to our Facebook page, and I'll read it on the air. Go on, get writing. We'll see you next time.
And we hope that you come back again next week. And this has been Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Now I have to keep that in there.
You don't have to. That's what she said.
Oh, there's the Marvel stinger.
The Marvel
that's the Marvel.
clothes.
Yeah,
that's the Marvel
it's
clothes.
all wrapped up. Okay.
So I was thinking.